Hello, everyone. My name is Gary, and today I'd like to share with you some simple and effective tips for writing your own sermons. Writing a sermon can be quite a daunting task, especially if you are a beginner or have never written one before. You may be thinking to yourself, where do I even begin? What should I talk about? What passages or scriptures should I include? And how do I make the whole package interesting? These concerns and others are normal when you start out writing sermons. Sermons have the power to lift our spirits or show us valuable insights into the world and ourselves. If your sermon is poorly written, it will be unlikely to have profound effects on your audience. To begin, the first thing you should do is find a scripture that resonates with you in some way. Whether the message is just strong or makes you feel uplifted, choosing a sermon that you think is good will enable you to focus and lock into a subject. For example, if you were preaching on the Last Supper, you wouldn't stray and start talking about Sermon on the Mount, would you? No, you would stick to the topic at hand. By having one or more specific Bible verses in mind, your writing will become easier and the delivery of your sermon will be smooth. Another powerful tip you can use when writing your sermon is to relate to a personal experience. When you connect the message of your sermon with something that has happened in your life, your ability to communicate that message increases exponentially. If you have a great story to tell, your audience will be captivated and generally interested in what you are sharing with them. When you are thinking about personal experiences to share, it is best to choose ones that are compelling or humorous. A good point a lot of people may not consider is keeping their sermons short. As a golden rule, sermons should be 10 minutes or less. A wise minister used to say, if you can't get your point across in less than 10 minutes, then it wasn't worth getting across in the first place. One way you can make your sermon brief is to create a small outline. This outline should include 3 or 4 main bullet points, and you should try to spend 2 or 3 minutes on each bullet point when delivering the sermon. The sermon will be well received if it makes good points without going into unnecessary details or beating around the bush. When you get your ideas worked out and are ready to begin writing the sermon, a good method to begin your writing is to start with the introduction and then write the conclusion. This will enable you to set the ground for your key points and provide a basic structure that can be followed in the body of your sermon. After you get your first draft done, you should begin practicing giving the sermon out loud. You should do this alone, in front of a mirror, and in front of your family and friends. Be open to their criticism and see what valuable tips they may have to offer that will make your sermon better. Once your sermon is complete, spend some time memorizing it, or at least memorize as much as you can. When you deliver your sermon, you do not want to constantly be looking at your notes or your outline. You want to look at your congregation as they look at you. By making eye contact with them, it will connect them more to you and your message and will provide a much better delivery. A last word of advice is to always remember that sincere efforts produce sincere results. Sermons can be very powerful and inspiring, and if you truly worked hard to share something that is special to you, your words will be well received and appreciated. Lastly, if you're still stuck and you'd like to check out some free examples of professionally written sermons, as well as some PowerPoint presentations that go along with those, then you can see them at my blog. My website is www.onlinebiblesermons.com, and that's all one word, onlinebiblesermons.com. I thank you all for watching, and I hope this video has given you some good tips and inspiration to write your own great sermons.